Welcome to Countable. Built by CPAs for CPAs, Countable is a cloud-based hub for accountants to automate, standardize, and centralize your engagements and practice. In this video, we'll be giving you an overview of how the platform handles the onboarding process, engagement and workflow, as well as highlight some of the new features that have been added. Signing up for Countable is easy and completely free. A 30-day trial does not require a credit card, and it includes 5 engagements, as we found the best way for people to try the platform is to use it before having to make a commitment. You start by creating an account. From there, you'll get an email with a link, and you follow that to the login page and sign in. Once you're logged in, the first thing that you'll see is the dashboard, which will be completely empty. Highlighted along the top is Onboard Your Firm. When you click on that button, it will take you to the first page of the 4-step onboarding process. Here you will need to fill in the relevant account information such as firm name and address, much of which may be pre-filled based on your login information. You'll also have the option to include an hourly rate. Next, you enter a title, partner, manager, or staff, as is appropriate, and now you can go to step 2. If you're using a free trial, you can actually skip the next 3 steps as you're only onboarding yourself. With a paid account, however, you'd add a new team member or upload team members using a template that you simply drag and drop into the system. Of course, you can also enter a new team member manually. Once you have filled in the various fields, you simply click on Add, and you will see the person has been added to the list of team members below. Continue to do this until all of your team members have been added. It's worth noting, you can add a team member at any time that you're using the platform. When you've added your team, you can proceed to step 3. This is where you'll add the clients. Step 3 is optional. You can complete this process later if you'd like. If you do have the information compiled in an Excel sheet, you can upload that information and onboard your entire client list. Just like with team members, you can add a client at any time. Once a client has been added, you can assign an engagement partner to them if you would like. Once added, you will see the client listed below. When you finish adding your clients, you can proceed to step 4. Here, you can choose which team members you wish to invite to the platform by selecting the box beside their name. In this example, the team members have already been invited, but in any case, you simply click the Finish button and that will return you to the dashboard. If you navigate to the Team section of the platform now, you will see which team members have been added, which have been invited, and who has accepted. Along the top, you'll see a breakdown of the team. In this case, we have 2 partners and 1 staff for a total of 3. And you can view the team listed by all or sorted by title. If you navigate to the Client section of the platform, in the same way, you can see a list of all the clients. Again, there is a breakdown along the top, and you can choose to view the list by all clients, my clients, or unassigned clients. We've made onboarding almost painless, and users have started their first engagement within an hour of signing up. We will also be integrating more CRM and accounting software with the platform later this year to further automate the process. Having completed the onboarding process, we can now look at the platform itself. This is a dashboard for an account with several active engagements. On the left-hand side of every page is the menu. In the upper right-hand corner is your account info. This is where you can change your settings and your notifications. The What's New section will let you know about any recent or upcoming changes. We update and improve Countable on a monthly basis. This is where you'll find out about any new features that we have launched, any bug fixes we have made, or any enhancements that we've made to existing features. Beside the account icon, you will see notifications. At the very top of the drop-down menu, you can see you can mark all as read, as well as perform a search for specific notifications or delete them all. Notifications can be handled individually as well. Inside the Settings section, you will see the profile information, including a place to manage notifications. Scrolling down to the settings, you can adjust by simply clicking the On/Off icon. In the User and Access Information section, you can look at how many free users you have. If you're a paid user, you're considered a firm. Client users are free and given the access level of Collaborator. It's worth noting there's never a cost for adding a client user, and paid accounts get an unlimited number of client users. On the right-hand side under the Actions column, You can revoke the access, edit, or delete the user depending on the user type. Under the access type column, you can see there are several levels, including super admin. There is a limit to 4 super admins, though you can have as many admins or general users as you would like. You can make edits to a user by clicking on the edit icon. That'll bring up the info page for that user. And there you can make a change to their access level. Below, you will see the specifics of what that access type allows. If you want to give limited access to a user for whatever reason, you simply go to the Modify Engagement and click or unclick the types of engagement that you want to give them access to. In this case, we want to give the user access to view engagement, create engagement, or modify engagement, but nothing else. Similarly with a client, if you want to limit their access, you simply select which clients you want to give what access to. You can also revoke someone's access if you'd like. Super admins can revoke other super admins' access, though you will find that the first super admin on the account can't be deleted. To do that, you have to go under Billing and delete the account completely. Inside the Billing section, if you have a paid plan, you will see the total number of engagements and this month's engagements. Here you can see the details of your plan. If you click on Choose Plan, you can see what other options are available to you. All your invoices will be shown here, and below that you can pause your account, delete your account, or contact us if you have any issues. The Help section is where you'll find video tutorials which range from about 1 minute to 4 minutes and will give you an overview of each section of the platform. We update the training section as new features are released, and there's absolutely no charge to access these videos. Most users have told us it takes about 20 to 25 minutes for them to get through the library, and then they're on their way to doing their first engagement. Alternatively, you can book a free training session with our account executives, either one-on-one or for your entire firm. While you're using the platform, if you have any feedback for us, it's greatly appreciated. We want to hear everything about our platform, how we can improve it, what we can do better, and what features are missing. Countable is a dynamic platform, and since launching, we've made quite a few changes and enhancements to the system. As you saw in the What's New section, every month we're pushing new features and enhancements, so we want to hear from you. Contact support is similar. We take all our support tickets through the contact support section. Here, you can register an issue quickly and even record a screenshot and give us access to the file that might be causing the issue. Everything goes through a secure platform so that nobody else has access to it. Our commitment to our users is that every single support call gets attended to in a timely manner. We want to make sure you feel heard, so we take extra care to ensure our support team has the availability to respond quickly. Issues are dealt with determined by urgency. If it's a simple bug, it's usually handled the same week. If it's an issue that requires a major change, we'll work with you to make accommodations so it doesn't stop or hamper your work. We appreciate that transitioning to a new platform, even one as intuitive as Countable is, can feel daunting and overwhelming. So we're committed to providing a high standard of support to each and every user. The dashboard is where you can have a quick look at all of your ongoing engagements and their status. On the right, you'll see recent activities. That lets you know what's happening with all your different engagements. Above that, you can access your team members and your clients. There's a search bar if you want to locate a specific engagement. You can see very quickly if an engagement letter for each has been signed or not. Along the bottom, you can see if you have any document requests, comments, or issues that need to be dealt with. And of course, you can see which software has been integrated for each particular engagement. The team section allows you to be able to add additional team members, either uploading info of an existing member or adding a new member. Anyone that is not a partner is considered staff, and you can look at everyone on your team, just the partners, or just the staff. And you can assign staff to a partner. If an invite to the platform has already been sent, you can simply click here to resend the invite. And of course, you can edit the information, which is useful if their contact info has changed. The client section's functionality is pretty much the same as the team section. You can add new clients or upload existing clients. And a feature worth noting here is the ability to assign a team manager and a partner. The integration section clearly shows what, if any, software has been integrated for that client. And if you click on the integration repository section, this is where you can organize and upload elements. Once uploaded, the files can be opened within the platform itself. Here, we see a PDF being opened, but the same goes for Word or Excel documents, provided you have a license for that software. You can then edit the document inside the platform itself, and multiple people can access it at the same time. You can also share that document with a client or a team member. And if you want to add or remove access for a particular folder for that client, you can do that with one click. There's also a search field to make finding folders simple. By default, firm members are given access to all folders within an engagement, but that of course is editable. The components library is where you can upload your headers, your footers, and your signatures, and the requirements for each are clearly listed here. You can also go to the help section, and under the tutorial videos, you'll see that we have a tutorial that walks you through the entire process. This allows you to be able to create different variations of headers, footers, and signatures, and then easily upload them to your components library. To start an engagement, we'll navigate to the client section of the platform. If you're using a cloud-based accounting software, you can connect them directly to Countable. At present, QuickBooks and Xero have been integrated, so with one click, you can open the software. From here, you log into the account and just connect to QuickBooks. In this case, I'm not selecting a client, I'm just connecting with the company's books as I have the authorization to be able to do so. The platform will update and now shows you that you're connected. Close that and it shows you the connection has been established. You can disconnect the software from the platform, but that should only be done after you've completed an engagement. If you have any live and active engagements, it's preferable to leave the software connected as Countable does pull and update data from the accounting software regularly. The platform also has an archive feature. In the case where you've completed an engagement and you've finished working with the client, you can of course delete them, or you can choose to archive them. Archiving means you don't do any work with that client, but you keep access to the engagements you've already done for them. To create an engagement, you click on the icon here in the Actions section, or click on the client, which takes you to the client page, where you press the Create Engagement button. From this page, you can also access the client's repository. A third way of creating an engagement is to go to the engagement section by clicking on the icon on the menu on the left-hand side of the screen. Here again, you can click on the Create Engagement button. From there, you choose the client. Once you click on the engagement, you fill in the details. Currently, we have the notice to reader, 12 months ending on 12/31/2020. We can put in a budget of $1,000, and we're currently working in the new standards. When it comes to the accounting standards, the current standards are in place. The new proposed standards for CSRS 4200 will be updated before September 30th. The standard calculation is available right now, and the advanced standards we've noted here will be available before September 30th, 2021. From there, you can assign team members. Then you can put in their hourly rate. Let's say you have 75% allocation of time for the preparer. Then you can add the first reviewer, who works at a different hourly rate for the remaining 25% of the time. Now you can see, based on the $1,000 budget, there's a $130 average engagement rate, and you'll be spending about 13.75 hours on this. We're currently developing an automated time tracking feature, which will be added before September 30th, so you'll have the actual time being spent compared to the budgeted time. Once you have that in place, you're ready to create an engagement. So by simply clicking here, you are now ready to start a new engagement. As you can see, a notification has appeared letting us know a new engagement has been activated on the platform. If you or your client uses a desktop accounting software and you want to import a trial balance from that, creating an engagement is the same, however, you'll skip the connect process. Once inside the engagement itself, there is an option to import a trial balance. To start working in an engagement, click on the engagement like this. On the left-hand side are the files, and on the right-hand side is the communication channel. This section is for issues, these are for comments that you want to leave on the platform, and this is for any sort of requests that you're making from a client. And this one is your document repository where you can save files related to the engagement. On the left-hand side, everything is connected. Under the client onboarding, we have the checklists where all the answers and comments get saved. Under documents, you just upload and organize any documents, trial balance procedures, and financials, and they're all connected to each other. The first time you click on a trial balance and adjusting entries, your trial balance gets pulled in. If you click here in the adjusting entry column, you can post entries on our system and update the numbers. In this case, we only have 1 year of data available, but usually the system pulls 3 years worth. To make an adjustment, you simply type in or pick from the drop-down info and post an entry. Then you click on Save and post the entry onto the platform. Once you have posted the entry, this will also give you a drop-down menu and you can click on the entry or post a new entry. If you want to see the total of all entries, that will show here. And from this page, you can export the entries to QuickBooks, Xero, or in PDF format. Import features are here in case you want to import up to 3 years worth of trial balances. We recommend when you import the trial balance, you import all the years you want to include first, and then do the mapping. If the engagement is connected to the accounting software, it pulls the chart of accounts so it knows exactly how and where to map. If it's not connected to an accounting software, then you manually import the trial balance. The platform then uses the mapping structure that it knows, based off of machine learning and AI technology. So 100% of the items may not get mapped. If the description of the item is vague or it's a term unknown to the system, you can manually adjust the mapping structure. Once you do that once, it will be saved for all ongoing files. You can export your Giphy here, or PDF and Excel. You can also look at the financial statements and groupings here. So this is very useful for anybody who's reviewing files in one shot. They can look at all the groupings in one place. And you can move things around if you need to. Simply drag and drop. And as you move things around, all the details get updated in real time. You can also look at a preview of the balance sheet and income statement as you go along. Again, if you want to change the location of any item, you can drag and drop and it will change the financial statements in real time. If you want to edit anything, you can see the edit icon on the right-hand side shows up as you mouse over the items. This allows you to make any changes as you want or need. If you wanted to resort the order of items, you can simply click on the item and change however you like. Of course, there's a whole bunch of other features which are all listed and explained in our video tutorials. We update our video tutorials every month based on the new features that we have released in the previous month, and we keep those videos short so training is easy and it's ongoing. You can also see your procedure and lead sheets are created here. You can create a reference for any document that already exists on the platform. Here you can see I have an A1 reference, and I move it over to I. And this will update to all I's. All the references are automatically updated accordingly. Any document sitting in here, you can edit, delete, or rename as you like. And here, you can add notes. Here, add comments, and you can see it auto-fills the information. Same with issues. Key fields are auto-filled. Same with the document requests. You can make a document request, add a due date when you want the document from a client, and then add a name and send the request. You can send individual requests or add to batch. If you do add to batch, it gets added to a batch request group. If you send it directly, it's sent immediately as an individual request to the client. Batch requests don't get sent immediately. You have to click on Send Requests, or you can schedule a batch request to get sent at a particular time. This means everyone who's working on a file can make a request, but then the client gets all of the requests at the same time. When it comes to working papers, you can simply drag and drop the paper. It will show up here, and then you can select any of the documents and open or delete however you like. It also shows up in the documents repository. In the trial balance is the TB check. Data gets pulled from the accounting software every night. So this feature exists so you can always ensure that you're working with the latest information. It allows you to see what your information is in real time, old information and new information, and the comparison between the two. This way you're not spending time looking at numbers while somebody else has changed the numbers on the back end. This comes in very handy if you're working on a live file. In the financial statement section, documents get filled in automatically. All the information comes in, the balance sheet is prepared, and the income statement is prepared. If rounding is not done, you can simply select the account that you want to do the rounding in and say yes, and it will apply the rounding. If you want to show the draft watermark because you're sending a draft to the client, you can select that here. In this case, you don't have the presentation. Otherwise, you can have 1 year or 2 year presentations. And you can separate the retained earnings or combine, and it will show you 2 separate or combined retainers. You can export into a PDF format that will show you a clean version of the financial statements ready to print or save, and then send to the client. And then you can sign off on the final financial statements. All the master sheet sign-offs are here, so if you are signing off on something, you can simply come in and it will show you how the master sign-offs are being done. The completion checklist shows you which checklists are completed or not completed. You'll see if the engagement letter is signed or not, and in this case, you can upload it, choose a date when the letter was signed, confirm the client has signed it, and then the system records that the letter was signed. This will also show if there's a pending request. In this case, it's safe to delete the request. Of course, you can also send the request over to the client. In this case, I'll clear everything and you'll see it gets completed. Once the request is completed and all the checklists are completed, you can simply sign off on the file and assign a packager or instructions for the final package. And once you do that, you'll be in a position to do the sign off date. You can now use this completed engagement as a template. You can choose to save the entire file or pick your notes, responses, mapping structures, file groupings, pretty much any detail you want. From there, you give it a name, let's say 1.3, and then you can archive it, which completes the engagement. Best of all, now that you've saved it and have a template, the next engagement with this client will already contain all the relevant information. The Countable platform continually grows as part of our commitment to automate, standardize, and centralize your workflow. We'd like to highlight a few recent additions to the Countable dashboard. The first is the checklist template feature. To create a checklist from the master library, start by navigating to the checklist section of the platform by clicking on the template icon on the left-hand side of the screen. Here, you will be able to see the firm templates and master library. In the master library section, you will see that there are two standards for checklists. The first is CSRS, which are the new standards post December 14th, 2021. Additionally, there are the 9200 standards for pre-December 14th, 2021. In the new standard sections, you can see subsections for things like client acceptance, independence, and so on. In each of these sections are templates that have been supplied by CPA. Each will have a series of questions with multiple choice answers of yes, no, and not applicable. The master library checklists cannot be modified. They can, however, be copied into the firm templates. In the firm template section, you will see things are broken down into folders, and within those folders are checklists. To create a folder, click on the Add icon located beside the search window. That will open a Create New Folder window, where you can title your folder. When you click on the Create New Folder button, the folder will appear on the left-hand side. You can rename a folder by clicking on the menu here. You can also delete a folder, though the platform will ask you to confirm this function to ensure no folders are accidentally deleted. To create a firm checklist, navigate back to the master library and locate the checklist you wish to add. Click on the blue Add Firm Template button at the top right-hand side. That will open a Select a Folder window, where you can choose which folder in the Firm Template section you wish to save the checklist to. The checklist will appear in that folder, and there you will have the option to duplicate, delete, rename, or move to another folder. To add a checklist to an engagement, navigate to the engagement. Here, you'll need to add the checklist from the firm templates, which you can do easily by clicking on the blue Add Checklist button at the top right-hand side. That will open a Select a Checklist window where you can choose from all of the checklists in the firm template section. You can now fill in the checklist and save. Saving will discard any earlier versions of the answers that may have been attached to the engagement. You can replace a checklist by clicking on the Replace link at the top of the checklist. One of the features of checklists is adding reference documents. Here, we'll add a PDF to the client acceptance section. Once loaded, the reference button in the checklist will be active. Clicking on it will open up a list of all of the documents associated with this specific engagement. Choose the document you wish to reference and click Add. You can add as many documents as required. This same process applies to the completion and sign-off section. Click on the Add Checklist button, select the completion checklist, and save. Then answer and save the questions. Worth noting, the completion questions have an additional question which is related to withdrawal. So when you answer the 5th question as yes and save, the withdrawal questionnaire will appear on the left-hand side. Also worth noting is that the roll forward new checklist feature remains the same. However, any engagement which has been created with the old standards cannot roll forward with the new standards, as the format and therefore the questionnaire is different. The next feature we'd like to highlight is the built-in PDF editor. If you've uploaded a PDF to an engagement, then all you need to do is to navigate to that document and double-click. That will open the PDF in Read View mode. In this mode, you will see a toolbar across the bottom of the document. Here, you can adjust how you view the file, such as fitting it to the width of the screen or having it scale to fit the full page on a screen. To enable editing of a PDF, click on the Edit Document button. This enables editing, and you'll see the annotation bar across the top of the screen. You can add text to the document by clicking on the text icon and then clicking on the document itself and typing. To add a sticky note, click on the sticky note icon, then click on the document itself where you want to add the note. That will open up a text box on the right-hand side of the document where you can write your notes. Then click on Post. You will see a note icon has been created on the document, letting other users know that a note relating to that section exists. You can also highlight text. To do that, click on the highlight icon, find the text you wish to highlight, and then click and drag the cursor across the words. Once highlighted, if you click on that text again, you can delete or change the color of the highlight. On the right-hand side of the document, you will see the highlighted text has now been noted. Further comments can be added here. The drawing icon allows you to literally draw on the document like this. And the eraser icon enables you to erase drawings. The search icon enables you to search the document itself for specific words. The menu icon is where you can download or print the PDF. Each annotation can be edited or deleted by clicking on the note on the right-hand side and choosing Edit or Delete from the menu. Changes to the document are saved by clicking on the Save icon at the top of the document. You can hide or reveal the notes by clicking on the arrow here. Similarly, you can view thumbnails of the entire document by clicking on the thumbnail icon on the left-hand side. When you are finished editing the document, simply click on the Close Edit Mode button. And that is the PDF editor in a nutshell. The next feature we'd like to introduce is time tracking. This enables you and your firm to record and analyze the time spent on an engagement from start to finish by all of your team members. This enables you to determine if you are on or off your budget. When time tracking is on, you will see an icon in the upper right-hand corner. When a user enters an engagement, the time tracking automatically begins. As a user works in an engagement, the cumulative time can be seen by clicking on the time tracker icon. That opens the time tracker window. Here, you can see the client name, the engagement ID, and both the active and idle time. If you have multiple engagements open at the same time, each will be reflected by a separate line here in the time tracker window. Time tracked is automatically logged at the end of each day, but you can manually log time by clicking on the Log Time button. All log time goes into each user's personal time tracker. You can access that by clicking on the Time Tracker button in the top right-hand corner of the Time Tracker window. That will open up a new window where you can see each log. Clicking on the Edit button for any log will enable you to add notes. You can manually add time by clicking on the Manual Time Entry button. This will open a new window where you can enter the relevant data. It's mandatory to choose whether an entry is billable or non-billable. Billable entries need to have both a client and an engagement ID associated with it. In this case, we'll choose a client from the drop-down list, then an engagement ID, and then select the category admin and enter the time as well as any clarifying notes. Once you're done logging, you can easily submit all entries from the time summary page by checking on the boxes on the appropriate logs and clicking on the Submit Time button. The time summary page can be accessed by clicking on its icon on the dashboard on the left-hand side of the screen. Here you can view and analyze the time spent on an engagement in detail. You can filter by client and engagement, and then see where you stand in terms of your budget. You can sort and filter each column by clicking on the filter icon and selecting the appropriate items. If you've been granted access to export, you can export the time summary page by selecting the entries you wish and clicking on the export button in the top right-hand corner, and then export as either a PDF or an Excel document. When activated, the time tracking feature will run from the moment work begins on an engagement until it is completed and archived. That completes this overview of the Countable platform. Of course, there are more features to be discovered, so if you haven't already, reach out and talk to a Countable expert. We'd love to help you out.